My name is Eli. I'm from Cavan, and I studied sports therapy and physiotherapy assistant in Cavan Institute. I did both years, and I finished in 2018 to go on to do physiotherapy, Bachelor of Science in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. I finished school when I was 16, and I knew that I was too young to go off to do college. So I needed a stepping stone to kind of mature and develop into a university student, and Cavan Institute was there to help me do that successfully. I joined in 2016 and I finished in 2018, and at the end of it I was a sports therapist and a physiotherapy assistant, and that provided me lots of opportunity to develop myself and prepare myself to do physiotherapy in Europe. Gave me a great baseline to know the fundamentals of human anatomy on the side of sports therapy and how to apply that to physiotherapy in general. Coming up to the second year of my studies in Cavan Institute, I knew I needed to move abroad in order to do my degree. Now, the options are very varied. You can do UK, of course, but really not talked about enough is the option to do it in Europe, mainland Europe. And just so happened a few friends of mine were applying to the Netherlands, and I decided I wanted to give it a go myself. And I put my name forward through UniGuess, and I got accepted in Eindhoven, Fontys University of Applied Sciences. I moved over there in September of 2018 and completed my degree 4 years later. So it was enjoyable. If you have the points beforehand, you're taking Cavan Institute as more of a fundamental aspect of it, and you're getting the basic approach to physiotherapy. You can obviously go through the Irish system. Now, if you don't have the points but you still want to follow on to do physiotherapy, you also have the UK as well as mainland Europe. Now, that's through UCAS in the UK and UniCAS in the Netherlands. Once you complete your 2 years in Cavan Institute, there is many opportunities for you to undertake. It's not straight away into physiotherapy. You can go on to do work as a sports therapist straight away. There has been a number of students who've gone on without getting the physiotherapy degree, working as a sports therapist in their own private clinic, working with numerous amounts of people and being aligned, let's say, with GPs, etc. And that is the opportunity there. The other opportunity would be working as a physiotherapy assistant in a hospital setting. I am a physiotherapist in Athlone, working with Action Physio. I have a full 5-day working week and I love it. Yeah. We had to undertake certain number of hours to work in a clinic or a hospital setting, depending on which we wanted to do. I was fortunate enough to work in private physiotherapy settings, and by the end of my tenure in Cavan Institute, I had 250 hours under my belt observing in a clinic. I was able to work in a private setting throughout my entire tenure in Cavan Institute as work experience. And by the time I left Cavan Institute, I left 250 hours of work experience underneath my belt, which gave me a good basis of development as a physiotherapist going forward, and having just that kind of fundamental knowledge of working in a setting and not being stressed as such or not being under as much pressure because you've been in that situation before. Even in college, that kind of stood to me because we used to have these little practical sessions, and I already had that knowledge of where the seats should be positioned, where the bed should be positioned, how to approach the patient in front of you, gestures, body movement. That all came from being allowed to do work experience with Cavan Institute. You can work with pediatrics, you can work with cardiorespiratory patients, you can work with your sports patients. A lot of areas to cover, and you can always specialise. And there is a lot of opportunity to work as a physiotherapist in this country. And it's only for Cavan Institute that I was able to kind of get that fundamental starting point to go on to do my Bachelor of Science. If I could do it again, I would. And I would put my hand on my heart and say, if you are unsure about where you want to go in a year's time, do this course, because then you get to know where you feel. If you have it in your heart that you enjoy this course, you will 100% enjoy physiotherapy, or you will 100% enjoy working as a sports therapist, because the opportunity is there. And I could recommend this. By the end of my 2 years at Cavan Institute, I had my QQI level 5 and level 6 in sports therapy and physiotherapy assistant. So by the end of my 2 years, I also gained my certificates with iTech in sports massage, general massage, taping and strapping, and strength training and conditioning. So they were very fundamental to me as developing further on as a physiotherapist. And only for Cavan Institute kind of gave me that opportunity, I wouldn't be where I am today.